second step in goal setting. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. Yesterday we talked about really defining your why, defining where you're going. And in that, if I wasn't completely clear, let me clarify now. You really want to define what the end goal is, what you're trying to reach in terms of actual things, and then bringing it back to an actual number. And then, the amount of money that it's going to take to be able to achieve that. And then the amount of time that you're looking to do it in. That's how you really do well at defining a goal. Now, beyond that, if you're starting from absolute scratch, and like I said, I deal with two types of people. I deal with business owners that are already successful and they're already moving forward and they just need help over the next big hump and to take things to the next level. And then the second type of person I work with is a person who's never owned a business before or is looking to get into an entirely new type of business and is right at the very beginning of their journey, kind of the startup situation. This may be based on both person, because most of the time when we get into business, we mess up. We don't do it right. And we end up suffering along the way. And sometimes we make it and sometimes we don't. But when you're trying to go at it again or trying to kind of restart your same business, even if you've been successful, sometimes you got to start back at basics. So which is why I'm trying to handle a lot of these principles and real basic ideas right now. So we talked about the why. Okay. And the next step also starts with WH. What's the next step? The next step is who. The next step is who, and it's who on every level. First off, the most obvious who is going to be who you are going to have as your customer, as your marketplace, as your end person. Who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to do something for? You're saying, well, I don't know. I don't know what my product is. I don't know what my service is. Here's the thing. If you can figure out who you want to serve, who is going to be the easiest for you to serve, who is going to get you to your goals the fastest. Sometimes, just for example, if you're looking to make a lot of money over a period of time, oftentimes going to the person that has the money, has a lot of money that they're willing to part with, is going to get you there quicker. I'm not saying that's your market, but it might be. Let's just say, for example, that that's your market. Well, then you got to find out, what are they willing to part with? What do they want more than they want their money, right? They've got money. You want it also, but they're going to want something in return. The question is, what do they want in return? It's easier to model your entire business after a who, because a who never really changes in general. Once you have that market, the idea of who you're going after, it's referred to as an avatar, oftentimes in marketing circles, because you can build out kind of a fake character with the roundabout the demographic. So demographic, we're talking round about the age, the gender, whether they have family, whether they own a home, all these different things. These are demographics. And so you can organize a lot of that, and you can kind of come up with a fake character that you could use as the focus from that point forward for your marketplace. And once you have that person, then you just have to start meeting those people, and you don't need a product, you don't need a service, you just need to find out what they want. That's what it's all about. But if you start with the who, there's a real importance to starting with the who versus trying to have a product or a service that you're trying to get and find a who. Because it's a reverse way of thinking. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm going to talk about a process that's called the marketing triangle. It was made popular by Dan Kennedy. I've discussed it multiple times before, but it's one of those principles that should be taught in schools, but isn't. And it certainly is never discussed in any business school that I'm aware of. But you need to focus first on your why, on where you're going, why you want to get there, what that's going to do for you. And then you focus on the who that can help get you there. We're not talking product, we're not talking service, we're not talking any of those details that people get obsessed with, thinking that that's the business. No, the business is you helping someone else. That's what business is. One way or the other, it's you helping somebody. It's you getting something, giving something to someone that they want. Whether they know they want it or not, they want what it provides. And maybe you're going to be providing, but people always bring up, oh, what about the iPhone? The iPhone, nobody knew that that was possible. Nobody wanted any of that. The iPhone is even more simple than most people give it credit. You know that? It's more simple than that. Not only did people want everything that's in the iPhone, people were using everything that's in the iPhone. The iPhone invented nothing. The iPhone didn't even invent the smartphone. There was nothing about the iPhone that's new. All they did was they took old technologies and put it all in one spot. So we had a telephone. Telephone's been around longer than anyone that's currently living. Okay, telephones have been around for a while. We had, not only that, if you just took the idea of a telephone that went over the air, okay, the cellular phone as we call them now, the mobile phones, those have been around a long time. They haven't been as mass popular as they have been the last 20 years, but they've been around. The technology's been there. There's nothing new about the mobile phone. Talk about the internet. The internet's been around. It's been accessible by the average person for the last 20 years. You talk about anything that the phone can do. Even the touchpad technology. Touchpad technology has been around forever, in terms of having computers and having laptops and having mobile computers, in having pocket computers. People have had these things. Texting, all these things have existed. The iPhone went and just took all these technologies, put them in one place, and did a good job marketing it and letting people know, hey, instead of having all these different things, and now it's a TV, now it's a movie theater, now it's all these other things. Instead of having all these things, what if it was all in one spot? What if you didn't have to carry around an iPod, which they had created just previous to that? What if you didn't have to carry around an MP3 player? It's all there. It's your phone, it's your MP3 player, it's everything all together in one spot. That's the iPhone. It's simple. It's so simple that it was, not only did people want it, people already had it. All they did was they made it a little more convenient and a little more sexy to have. So no matter what you are selling out there, no matter what you're putting out there and exchanging in return for money, it's something that somebody already wants before you get to them. Now, they may not even be fully aware that they want it, and they certainly may not be aware that what you have will get them it. But there's something that the product or service that you eventually get to, which you don't have to come up with. That's the beauty of it. You don't even have to come up with it. There's already things out there. What you have to do is connect somebody with something they want. That's it. That's the beauty of business. And as soon as you cut yourself off from that relationship, from the fact that it's just you and another person, and it's in mass eventually, hopefully, but you and somebody else, and you helping them get what they want, as soon as you cut that off, that's when everything starts falling apart in a business. But if you can keep that idea, that concept of that relationship from day one, there's no end to where you can go. And you're going to find out a lot tomorrow when we go through the marketing triangle, because that's one of my favorite topics. It's one of the things that helped cement it for me and allowed me to realize that most business owners have no idea what they're doing in this, and because of it, it messes up their entire view of marketing and their entire view of communicating with the outside world, because it's all selfish based, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. It's all about overcoming competition and competitive forces. I talk about the marketing triangle in here briefly. Go and purchase a copy or or get a free copy on AmazonProofBook.com. We'll be back here tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.